Libra 15, circular paths. We're studying here the rhythm of life. On one level, the natural rhythms are pretty obvious. The sun comes up every day, and every winter it gets a bit colder, and so on. These rhythms are so deeply inherent within our lives that we take it for granted, perhaps. And yet there are other rhythms that we introduce that are not necessary, but they add comfort. And that might be the celebration of certain festivals, Christmas and Easter and what have you. And these are added so that we can underpin the need we have for rhythm. Without rhythm, there is chaos, actually. It is not possible to move constantly forward. It just doesn't work. So we have these circular paths to walk. And yet, the choice we really have to make is whether or not that's boring and repetitive and not taking us anywhere. We have a job and we turn up and we do the job and we go home and nothing happens to us. We don't grow, we don't feel creative or exciting. That's a kind of a closed circle. And yet in another way of being, the circle can be moved from one dimension to another dimension by adding progression. And if a circle is moved into that progressive sense, it tends to expand, and we move then towards spiral motion. And we're much, much more in keeping then with the rhythm of life. If we look around us, everything operates in a spiral motion. The DNA, the galaxies and everything in between. This is the way life is spiraling. So we have this sense of adding something to the repetitive circle of life, which is a little bit different. Progression. You add those things together and you have a very healthy approach to life. On the one hand, you do what you've always done, because this day of the week you do that thing. That optimizes the energy against the benefit equation. It takes a lot of energy to start something and not much to continue it. That's why we get into our rhythms, perhaps. And yet we do have to break away from these rhythms sometimes in order to move into a spiral motion and progress. It's also worth remembering that we are the center of our own circle of activity. The circular paths that we're walking on really are not somebody else's path. It's our own path. We've created these circles by assimilating what circles there are of other people and choosing our own way within that. We actually have to create our choice of rhythm in order to live our own particular lives. And nobody's rhythm is exactly the same as anyone else's. So the responsibility for the monotony that you might experience is your own. And also the reward, the sense of self-congratulation that you can experience when your life is both rhythmic and dynamically progressive. That's yours too. This is the better way to be, to have both of those things in good balance.